Okay, so yesterday you were to paraphrase those letters, put them in your own words. What are they saying? In the very first letter, he's writing to the Smithsonian, and what's going on there? What did you write? Yes, Jax.
He was saying how he will work to improve his invention.
Okay, but why is he telling them that? I mean, he did say why to work. Okay, all right, I would take that, but I was looking for something a little bit more specific. Bryson? Baby, can you remove your mask because you're far enough away from everyone else? No, what did you say?
He kept chasing his dream.
Okay, I'm talking about what? I just wanted you to tell me what was in the letter. That's what I was looking for. Keeping it simple. Hadley, what did you write?
I thought that the story was about him like trying to make the airplane.
Okay, no. The very first letter, you need to take notes right now if you're paraphrasing. The very first letter, he is writing, recounting his life and his love for flight. He's always been fascinated with birds and the way in which they're able to fly. He's setting up a foundation for justifying, I believe we talked about inferring, that he was writing the Smithsonian Institution in hopes of possibly letting them become investors in building a plane, helping him build a plane. He didn't even call it a plane back then. It was a flying machine. And so he's setting that up. So he writes to these people of authority, of position. It's different from his letter to his dad, and different from his letter to his family. It's more formal, and he's telling them, hey, I have an interest in people actually being able to fly in the air, and it started from a very young age. So that's what I would have said in paraphrasing letter 1. Now, in letter 2, we'll write to his father, who has a paraphrase of what they believe. What was that letter about to his dad? Yes, sir.
That he almost crashed the plane and he
Okay. Yes?
He wasn't expecting the flight machine to go high at all.
Okay. I'm going to wrap all that up and just sum it up. Yes, ma'am. Paisley?
He was discussing the progress he's made in the flight machine.
Perfect. He was discussing the progress he had made at this point with his flight machine. He was recounting his events. He was letting his dad, keeping him up to speed. Hey, now this is what we're doing next, and this is what we tried, and this is what's working, and this is what isn't working. You know, that's why he says the things like he's going to be sure that he is careful, and that his idea, they don't have anything. Right now, he's just doing experiments to see what's going to work. He hasn't put together an engine in it. No, sir, Jax. Thank you. Let's go to the next letter on the back. So he's just giving us, an update on what he's doing. So what's different from the first letter to his dad, whereas in 3 years later, what's the big difference in that letter to his dad, if we're paraphrasing? Yes?
He was trying to accomplish his goal.
More than that, we're going to be a little bit more specific, because if you look at that letter to his dad, the first one, he's just keeping his dad like a running record of what's going on. Well, 3 years later, he writes his dad, and it's just one paragraph. Something significant has changed, or he's added to this flying machine that's going to make it different. Yes, sir?
He's telling his dad what his accomplishments are.
Yes. He's telling his dad what his accomplishments are, but then does he not lift up the fact that, he's letting him know, this is what we've done now, this is what we're looking forward to, this is what we're going to be doing in the future. Very short. In your paraphrase, that's what you say, he's giving him a very much updated account of their progress, and that they've made some pretty significant progress. He writes, Dad, we flew 43 seconds on our glider, Jax. So that's what it is. Before, he had never flown it. He just told his dad, oh, we're going to fly it. We're going to fly it over a sandy area so that if we crash, we won't get hurt. This one, he said, Dad, we actually did it. And we were up for 43 seconds. And that was without a motor or anything like that. So they've established that equilibrium on the wing so it doesn't wobble every time they jumped off of the ledge or whatever. So, I hope you added to your paraphrasing. In the last letter, where he's writing to just to his family, December 14th, 1903. He has 2 paragraphs there, and something significant has taken place on his flying machine. What is that significant change, Jera? They added something. The motor. He shares with the family that now his flying machine has a motor in it and that it's ample. That was one of the vocabulary words that we looked it up yesterday. Locate that, Brittany, since you weren't with us. It's the second paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th line, circle that word, it's ample. He said that their engine was ample now. It was good enough, it was good. And that there was just a trifling error. So circle that word trifling. It's only 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th word down from ample. Help her out, Andrew. So it was just a trifle error that they had to correct. Who remembers what trifle means? Go.
Small error.
Yeah, just a small error, just a tiny, tiny error. And then they were going to have it all set up. In fact, he's so excited, he ends this letter to his family that says, we'll probably have made another trial before you receive this letter, unless the weather is unfavorable. So in other words, they're making progress. They're making headway. They're moving forward. Fast. You know, this reminds me a lot of Steve Jobs, because he didn't quit, okay? So at this time, at the bottom of your paper, I would like you to write this paragraph on the sideboard that reads, the Wright brothers faced failure as a platform to success, like Steve Jobs. It is on the sideboard there, next to Brooke Elise. The Wright brothers faced failures as a platform to success, like Steve Jobs. After you've written that, I would like you to highlight those words that I've underlined, and maybe in a different color you can underline it, as well as Steve Jobs. I'm going to show our video group what we've done so that they get the benefit of the paragraph if they want to add it to their handout also. Okay? There it is. The Wright brothers faced failure as a platform to success, like Steve Jobs. Bear with me, video people. I'm going to walk back now. While you're writing that, your charge after this is going to be to compose a summary of each letter. That's what that piece of paper is for, page 45. Where it asks you, after reading each letter, compose a brief summary. Well, lucky for you, I've done the first one for you because the summary is only going to be 2 sentences. You're going to do a 2-sentence summary of every letter that you have. Just 2 sentences, and that's easy because we've already paraphrased it. So now we're just going to do 2 sentences about what each letter is about. Are you ready? Okay, I'm going to put that up while you have highlighted those words in that paragraph at the bottom of the letters. Great. The very first one, letter 1, where he was writing to the Smithsonian Institution, it says, here's the summary that you are going to write on your chart, page 45. It's a concise summary, meaning you're just going to very quickly write it that way. It reads like this. This is a letter from Wilbur Wright to the Smithsonian Institution. He expresses that he believes it is possible for mankind to make it into flight. That's it. That's the summary for letter 1. You're going to copy that down because that's going to serve as an example for you as you do letters 2, 3, and 4. Do you have any questions? Just 2 sentences. You're going to copy this down because this is your example for letter 1. Then you're going to compose your 2-sentence summary for letters 2, 3, and 4. All right, you may begin. I'll set the timer. It takes us about 8 minutes.